Hi, I'm Sara and this is my husband, Norm.
Hi.
And anyway, we just want to talk about Dr. Anderson. We were trying for quite a while to have a baby, and after our OB recommended the rounds of Clomid, and those didn't work, she sent us to Dr. Anderson. And on the first day, it was last September, I actually brought my sister-in-law with me since it was during the afternoon and Norm couldn't be there. And I wanted another opinion because I was obviously very nervous. And so we came in and he greeted us, and all the ladies in the office were right away very friendly. And I was like, okay, it's a little different, this is cool. And then he greeted us in his office, and we sat down. And I think the thing that impressed both my sister and I the most about Dr. Anderson was the fact that he is so straightforward and looked us in the eye. And both of us left there feeling like we were the only patient he ever had. You even would ask, like, do you have any questions? And he'd, like, wait. And we're like, well, we don't. He's like, that's okay, take your time, think about it. We brought, lots to do stuff. And so we were just really impressed with that, professionalism, but also just the care. And it wasn't that, I used to keep trying to pull out his sense of humor. And it's not that he doesn't have one, but he's so earnest in what he does and as he deals with his patients. And he knows that it's such a sensitive thing to say that you're infertile or to say that you're struggling with this. And he never once made you feel anything less than absolutely priceless, and that this was going to work, and that he was very real with what he told us. He was never like, oh, the first time ever, and nothing. He was very real, like, hey, this takes a while, be patient, be optimistic, because this can work, and we're here with you. And so anyway, I think that was probably the best thing for me, who was very sensitive and hurting to this whole thing. And for me to be able to come back home then and tell Norm about this doctor with confidence of, hey, this guy seems to know what he's doing. Like, okay, like I'm buying into it because he's not trying to sugarcoat things and stuff. And so that was really the best thing for me when we first met Dr. Anderson. And it's been a long haul. We went through the insemination process of 3 rounds, and that didn't take. And he, once again, this time, Norm came with me and met us again for other options and stuff. And
the IVF, I think, was the first time where I met him.
Yeah.
During that consultation or that interview. And like Sara says, he was very straightforward, and he answered all the questions before I asked them. So it was really a confident time for me to move forward with what we were doing.
Yeah, he's always the one that has all the questions, and so I'd get home and I'd be like, this is what happened, and he's like, well, what about this, and I'm like, I didn't ask those questions. And so when he came and was able to meet Dr. Anderson, I was like, look, ask every question you can think of. And so here Dr. Anderson kind of lays out the different options for us, and he says, do you have any questions? And he was silent, and I was like, wait a minute, ask. But he's like, no, Dr. Anderson lays it all out. It's not like he's trying to hide something and then he's going to spring something on you. It's, hey, these are the options, these are the probabilities, these are their chances. This, if you can ask him, I asked him, hey, what would you recommend? And it wasn't like, well, it's whatever you want, because we don't know. But he actually would say, well, this is kind of what I would recommend, or this is the way we'd go. And there wasn't any... Yeah, it was great. And really to have him, who's like the engineer with every question, be satisfied and be like, yeah, okay, this is what we're doing, and I'm excited. It was really
And it was really the part there where he made us feel like we can trust him. And so he made us change, well, not made us, but he offered suggestions to change our minds on a few things, depending on the number of how many eggs we fertilize, and we had our number, and he strongly told us to think about changing the number.
And it was interesting because for me, life is extremely precious, and to me it starts right with fertilization. And so I was able to share that with him, that this wasn't something that we just wanted to throw a bunch in and fertilize a bunch and let him go. It was something that was unbelievably precious. And so he was able to right away, yeah, these are all yours, and you get to decide how you want to handle them and when. And he's on what he did is he brought the advice of his experience. He says, I've been doing this for 25 years, and these are the probabilities. It's not that you're not healthy. It's not that you haven't taken care of your body. It's that with my age being in my mid-30s, this is just the probability, and I want you to know what that probability is. I want you to know what those facts are. And so with prayer and so forth, Norm and I were able to then, go forward with Dr. Anderson's suggestion, and we're having a baby in November, so.
Happy about it.
Yay! That's our story.